soon, and I will transition back over to Ian now. So again, thank you, Anne-Marie, for your presentation.
Thank you, Travis.
Let's try this again. Can you hear me?
Okay, let's go. You're up.
Yay! How about that? Technology-based company that can't get a microphone to work. Thank you for having me today. It's an honor to be participating with such an illustrious group of individuals. Can you see my presentation?
Looks good.
Okay. So TechnifexXR is not your standard kind of DoD contractor. We are not research scientists. We don't have a static product line that we offer and we sell for solutions. We work with our partners and our clients to develop customized solutions to meet the needs and the goals of a storyline, a particular set of mission, objectives, etc. Our background comes from developing and designing large-scale mechanical atmospheric effects combined with robotics to deliver these creative, immersive environments, mainly geared at theme parks, water parks, casinos, and other location-based entertainment. Don't get me wrong, this is not your movie magic where one shot and you're done. These are life safety systems that have guests, casts that are riding on around them, that require a level of engineering and analysis and physics-based solutions to make these last a long time. Typical systems that we design and develop run from an average of 8 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with a service life of 20 years. So they're pretty robust. TechnifexXR is relatively new. We spun XR out of the parent company Technifex about a year ago. And as we started to look at the horizon of training and simulation, we started to see the need and a desire to get kind of more realistic training environments into the mix. We felt with our ability to create these immersive environments and creating that suspension of disbelief that we could bring this into the market and partner with other smart people to develop really cool simulations. These are the 3 examples that I'm able to share today with you. We're working on a lot of stuff, but for IP reasons, we'll keep it at this. The first one up is LA County Fire Department. This is a training facility located in Castaic. It's called DeVal. It's about 160 acres of fire training. What they asked us to do is help partner with kind of a master planning, and it did have a lot of resemblance to theme park and creating different lands. They wanted to create different areas and different training scenarios that then they could look at regionalization, do more training, not just for LA County, but other firefighter agencies, police, and clandestine type. Hazmat City, obviously, as it talks about, has all kinds of cool simulations for spills and fills and fire and smoke. The one that we'll focus on today is number 1, which is a tanker truck versus auto is what it's called. California freeways are bad enough as it is, but you can imagine the heightened challenges that a tanker spill in the middle of the freeway would cause. We worked with subject matter experts, their leadership, to find the goals, the missions, the parameters of the things that challenge them the most, and created what you see here. Full-size tanker on a K-rail on a real section of freeway out at this training facility. Combined with fire effects and actual people in the car that firefighters have to extricate out. The training scenario has instructor-led console, as well as pre-programmed events that can change the sequencing. So instead of always going A to B to C, and that becoming just kind of the training that you do, is trying to train in situ under high duress. It could go A to C to D to F and back again, to really get firefighters to think through the process and not have it so routine. We did a complete, kind of end-to-end solution where we developed the control systems, the fire system, fire delivery systems, as well as all the audio that goes with this, and it is still in use today, as I'm aware. The next, we have IED Battle Drill Simulator. This came to us through the DoD via RL leaders. And this was around the time that more people were being killed by IEDs than gunfire. They were looking for a training simulation for the Humvee, and that crew We took advantage of the latest technology at the time, which was a high-def projection system for the visual immersion, combined it with the mechanical motion of a simulator with real Humvee. We designed and developed the 6-DOF hydraulic based simulator system connected to that. So, kind of training in an environment that they're used to and not necessarily completely virtual. As you can imagine, as you're looking for these things that are key indicators of IEDs and what to watch out for, combining the visual aspects with the physical aspects really kind of helps create the environment. And of course, we couldn't let it go without having a non-lethal blast that happens within the Humvee itself. This simulator is capable of producing an 8G move while we send concussive shockwaves inside the vehicle itself. Non-lethal, but very unpleasant and disorientating, and that's kind of the focus is if you survive, how do you get out? We also we've been working on a JTech training prototype that you see here. There are other JTech trainers. Travis is aware of some of those as well. We do have a sister component to this that we call kind of a JTech in a box. And it allows you to take kind of your VR headset with a computer system and, pretty much do your sets and reps no matter where you are at any given time. This really focuses on the larger systems, the dome systems that are out there that are really kind of passive in nature, where you're calling in your strikes, you're doing your air coordination, but it becomes more of a visual. After you do it, you take a look at it, and there's kind of no environmental feedback. There's no force feedback into what this is that you would experience in real life. We did develop this with an ex-JTech and a current JTech trainer to start to evolve this concept. Since that, we've had 3 different groups that came through did training. Our last group was in late spring, early summer, where we had schoolhouse JTechs and some PJs that came and did some training for a week, both the classroom inside and the virtual, as well as combined with the outside. Some of the unique features that this has is it does allow for wind, rain, heat, as well as if a chopper is flying over in a virtual sense, you're getting rotor washed down. So it really kind of connects the dots, visually as well as physically. Here's a breakdown of some of the systems that you see there. The wind and the mist. The platform that this individual is kind of kneeling on or taking a half knee on actually has features built into it that as you drop ordnance of different size and relationship to you, danger close, it's going to be a much more impactful feeling that you feel underneath your legs. As well as in that wall itself, there's also bullet strife hits. And the idea behind that was, instead of vertically standing up as you're calling your strikes, at some point in time, somebody may see you and shoot you. So this is kind of a remembrance, or a reminder, I should say, to try to keep your head down low. It's a couple of videos of one of the JTechs starting his training with his instructor. This system uses MACE that's integrated, that pulls this all together and ties in the atmospheric effects with the visual effects pretty well. So that's kind of a very rushed version of what we're up to. I think, with a lot of conversations that have happened this morning and will continue to happen today through the summit, there's a layering of technology that we look to employ where the physical aspects, I think that's a little bit more straightforward in what we can produce in a realistic way, but being able to measure the efficacy of the training systems that we have, learning from, the behavior of the individual going through the training, and how do we better use that to, not only make better warfighters, but
Yeah, thank you, Ian. It was just remarkable when you come across an innovative company that's able to take like a JTech trainer, for example, that people have been working on for 10 years, 15 years, and then go into it from a completely different perspective, and the effects that you're able to bring, how mind-blowing it can be. And so Your presentation, the technology that you're bringing, it just brings in a whole new perspective of how you can increase realism. And our theme of improving human performance, the more that you can increase the realism and model those effects, that leads to obviously better training and better preparedness. And the first time seeing that, every time you had one of those trainers come in and the floor moved, I was like, okay, they'd spent their entire life of 40 years being a trainer and the floor never moved once. Yeah. And then it completely unlocks their brain and they have to readjust. So those insights and those innovations that are coming from your group are just amazing. And so to get your time and to have you present, I really appreciate that. One quick question just on, again, more towards the future and some of the integration of technologies, some from the conference that you're in today and others that you're aware of. Where do you see some of these future applications or integrations going?
Well, there's I'm hoping you can still hear me and I haven't dropped out again, but I think the world is the oyster, right? There's so much cool technology that folks on this summit are doing that become instantaneous layers that you can easily plug in. EEG type stuff plugging into these training systems is one of those biofeedback mechanisms that we can tap into to really try to understand the human response to training. I think we get the kind of physical thing, and some of the previous examples of, hey, if I lift weights and I'm stronger, then, physically I should be able to do more. But it's kind of that mental aspect of training that, really we're starting to kind of zero in on layering in those things as well as other technologies. So it's a cool time for sure.
Well, thank you very much, Ian, for presenting, and that kind of wraps up our West Coast tour